Hey folks, today I would like to have a chat about Path of Exile. It's a game that's been featured on my channel heavily over the years, and for the past 2 or 3 years I've not really played it as much or made content for it as much as normal. The reason for that was I wasn't enjoying the game in a mapping sense. I can now finally say that I'm actually enjoying the game again. If you haven't checked out Path of Exile in a few years because you got a bit tired of the Atlas system, the way the maps were working, and just generally the game itself, now might be a time to check it out. The gameplay you're going to be seeing in the background is some footage of some maps. I'll probably have a video of some boss kills if you're interested in how the lightning arrow is working. I have a guide and all that good stuff. This video is just a quick little one to chat about the enjoyment of the end game system, what they've done to fix it, and maybe get you back involved. So previously, you would have this Atlas system with about 156 maps. You would have to do these shaper orbs to shape your maps. You could then farm a map that you enjoyed that could drop. There was a period where you had Elder influence that was floating around these blobs and you had to manage this influence. Then there was a period where these orbs would drop to like level up your Atlas, and these were RNG. You might get all of your tier orbs instantly. Sometimes it might take hundreds of maps. We then had a period where you had to like do the map normal, you had to do the map alked, do the map rare and corrupted. Then you had to farm the sort of guardians, shall we say, like the new conquerors, and these would spawn Atlas influence, and you would have to do that influence to spawn the conquerors. Then we had a time where we had regions, and regions were like these zones that you could buff up with watchstones. You could farm your way to craftable watchstones, which took ages to get, and then you could say, oh, I'm going to do this corner of the Atlas, this has harbingers, and you would then farm that region because you enjoyed harbingers and you enjoyed the high tier map and the fact it had like conqueror influence or whatever it may be, but you didn't actually enjoy the map. There wasn't a great map in that region. And the way you had to play the Atlas was you were constantly jumping around the regions and you never got to do what you wanted to do. And that's why I gave up. It was too long-winded, it was too frustrating, and it was just not enjoyable. I just didn't enjoy being limited in what I could do. The new end game system in Path of Exile is fantastic because here's what I've been doing. You now have an Atlas passive tree, and the Atlas passive tree allows you to pick the league mechanics that you enjoy. That means I'm not doing any betrayal. I'm not doing any sort of expeditions because I haven't really messed with that league mechanic. But I am doing a ton of abysses that are dropping corrupted abyssal jewels and gear with abyssal sockets. I am doing harbingers, and I am doing essences, and I'm getting duplicated essences, and I am doing harvest, and I'm crafting loads of good gear in harvest, and when you find it, it's kind of exciting because you don't know what you're going to find in there. And you can respec this if you want. You could do full breaches with chance to get a boss in every single breach, more juice. You can play the game how you want. Think of it, if you remember like Legacy League where you had the stones and you could put in the league mechanics, well, you can do that again. Now the nice thing about this is it's very visually clear on what you need to do. When you hover over the Atlas, there is a little guide that explains how you unlock watchstones. It explains what bosses you need to kill, what trials you need to do. Trials as in Maven invitations to unlock extra passive points and stuff like this. And along the left hand side are favourite maps. Now these are just challenges that you need to do. Kill Shaper, Uber Elder, kill like a certain amount of map bosses, kill a boss, etc. Certain challenges, and you unlock a favourite map slot. You can then favourite a map, I think it's up to 12 times, and you will have a chance to drop that map because it's favorited. The more favourite slots you have, the more juicy your Atlas is with like map drop nodes. You're going to be getting that map all the time. So what I've been doing is I've just been playing Strand with all my favourite league mechanics, and I've been doing Harvest, Abyss, and I've been juicing them up, and I've been putting influence in, and I've been crafting gear. And it's been nice to sit down and play a session where you can sort of turn your brain off. Yeah, you can go and farm Conquerors, you can go and farm Uber Elder, and you can still do all of those things like fight Cirrus if that's what you want to do. But for me, when I play PoE, I kind of want to switch my brain off. I want to get my nice mapping build, and I just want to blow some maps up. And at the end, I'll probably sell some of the stuff that drops, you know, some of the currency, some of the items, some of the Guardian maps. I'll sell them all after a session, and then I might make a new character and I'll map with that. And that new league mechanic that has been introduced with the Atlas system and all of this stuff you can have now. You've got your 4 void stones, they're called. You can sextant them up. You can even save a sextant mod, like if you think, oh, here's reflect, you can save that and then you can bring it back if you ever find some reflect maps that you've corrupted. And it's been really nice to just go, you know what, I've got a session of like 20 rolled strand maps, and I'm going to play 20 strand maps, and then I'm going to head off. I'm not having to think what map is in what Atlas region, is in which zone, do I need to move, where is my influence, oh, I need to go and delve, and like, no, I can just play the game how I want to play, and it's made it so much more enjoyable. It's how I remember Path of Exile. Path of Exile to me was always about, you create a character and you do the content you want. Like I'm using extra chain, I'm using lightning arrow because it's nice for clearing. I've decided it's pretty good for Legion, so I'm speccing into some Legion on my map device, on my Atlas device. The best thing also, just to mention, is if you hate sort of finding map drops and you hate finding, you know, progressing your way through the Atlas initially, Kirik, which is kind of like the new Xana, shall we say, if you're new to the game, he gives these daily missions. Now, you can have an Atlas passive that gives you up to 3 dailies, which I've got, and he drops these things called scouting reports, and these allow you to re-roll the daily. You can re-roll them to have a chance to corrupt all the maps, re-roll them to, it might say re-roll all maps, and it will only re-roll ones that you haven't completed, so that helps your completion. He also sells a ton of maps regularly, and what I've been doing is I've been finding these little reports, and I've just been re-rolling my daily missions until they show harvest, and I've been pretty much doing harvest in all of my maps. Or if there's not a harvest, I might do a ritual. And it's just been really nice to know that when I go on Path of Exile, the first time in years, I'm in control of the content. It's not telling me, hey, if you want to progress the game, go and do this conqueror in this certain region, in this certain map that you don't want to do, but you need to do it to progress the game. Like, no, you can do the game how you want to. Also to note, the Atlas has been shrunk a lot. I think there's about 100 maps now, and certain maps like Hall of Grandmasters have been taken off the completion. And this just means that it's so much quicker to get your Atlas passives because there's less maps to do, they're rewarding. And it's just nice. You're not thinking I've got like 200 maps I need to do, then I need to corrupt them all and do 200 more maps. Then I need to farm to get a Shaper Orb or an Atlas so-and-so. Like, no, you can get through it very quickly. I've been playing relatively casually, and I've not bought a single map. I've not bought anything to do with gear. I've crafted all my own gear with the essences, with the harvests, with re-rolling. And it's been nice. So finally, I feel like I can play Path of Exile. I'm hoping they stick with this system because they're always jumping around with the Atlas system and changing things. But it's made a few of my friends come back to PoE. I've come back to PoE, and with the Atlas system being so enjoyable, and with the endgame mapping being so enjoyable, I'm hoping it stays like this. There's only one concern, and it's that it's very rewarding. You can have these passive nodes that say, if you kill a tier 14 boss, there's a 2 to whatever % chance of dropping a Shaper map, a Guardian map, an Elder map. Map drops can be duplicated, so sometimes you can get literally like 6 Guardian maps drop. But to me, that's what Path of Exile is about. I'm playing on my own. It's a PvE game. I'm not really affecting anybody, and if I've juiced my Atlas up to get map duplicates, and I want to spend my evening farming some Guardian maps and testing my damage against, you know, the upper tier bosses on new builds, I feel like that's what I should be able to do. Path of Exile did become a game where you were struggling to find the content. Everything was so rare and painful that it just felt like you were battling against the system, whereas now the system feels like it's working towards you. Like, I'm putting points in, and it's making things better. I'm doing my Atlas maps and it's making the maps better, rather than, man, I hope a Guardian map drops, man, I hope a red tier 15 drops because I really need one. No, I've got tons of orbs of horizons because I'm doing Harbinger, I'm changing my maps around. It's just been a really nice experience. I'm worried that they're going to nerf the map drops because, yeah, people might be doing too many Guardian maps or too many tier 16s, but here's how I see it. If I've completed all of my Atlas and I've done all of the big bosses, the Mavens, and I've been rewarded with 4 Watchstones because I've sunk a large amount of time in, most people aren't going to get to Maven and get 4 Watchstones and do Uber Elder. But because I've got to that point now, I'm now rewarded with the ability to put 4 Sextants on, with the juicy map drops, with the higher tier content. That's what I like. It's like the game saying, hey, you've done well, you've put your time in, and you've now been rewarded. I'm hoping they don't take that away. And I just wanted to make this video just to express that for the first time in ages, I've been thoroughly enjoying Path of Exile, and long may it continue, because it's a great game when it works. And that's all I've really got to say. How are you enjoying Path of Exile? Have you enjoyed the end game changes? What do you like and dislike? I'd also like to know what Atlas tree you're doing. I'm again now maybe moving into Expedition because I've not played that League mechanic. I don't like it that much, and I'd like to learn a little bit about it. So I'm thinking about doing like Expedition and Legion, because my build has chain and it's pretty nice, but I'm not sure. For the moment, I've been sticking with Harbinger, Ritual, Abyss, stuff like that. But thanks very much for tuning in. I'd also want to say a thank you for the people that have watched the latest crafting videos. That did really well. Thanks for the responses on that. Trying to keep my videos down to earth, not get the spreadsheets out, not be too overly analytical, you know, and just have a nice chat with people that also like the game that I like to play. So that was my thoughts on Path of Exile's mapping system. I'll probably give you an update to the gear and some boss killing examples. But leave a like and a comment. Consider subscribing if you enjoy this content. Check me out at twitch.tv/GGZII. I'll be live. I normally play Path of Exile with the odd League support game mixed in. And give us a follow if that's something you're into. So thanks very much. Have a great evening or morning wherever you're from.